Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kim. You're all very far away from here. I hope you can see the screen properly. So, I'm a consultant on circular economy and for plastics, and I also work on toxic chemicals for the UN agencies. However, I also volunteer for the CEC. The CEC is the Circular Economy Club. I'm going to give you an insight into the latest work that they've been doing recently. And also I wanted to say we're really grateful for the Smart Cities Congress for giving us this opportunity. So the CEC, the Circular Economy Club, is a non-profit membership organization. They gather around 4,600 members, and this is over 140 countries all over the world. They kicked off in 2014, and this was as a networking and events platform, basically trying to promote the circular economy. So this free membership has meant that organizations, as you can see here, range from businesses to consulting and training, networks. Some of them might ring a bell. There's the African Circular Economy Network. There's Wise Impact, which are quite well known. Red Dress also. So yeah, there's a variety of skills, professionals with different skills, and from different areas of the circular economy who've been attracted to this. It also gathers professionals with a common vision. They want to basically function through, don't know whether you can hear me properly. Keep leaning down, yeah? So it gathers professionals who want to function through the circular economy model. And the CEC basically enables collaborations to share best practices and also how to solve challenges collaboratively, because it's very different to do things separately and individually, but doing it collaboratively, it's just joining forces. So these are the key pillars. So the Circular Economy Club works hard on their website. It means that professionals, anyone really who is a member, can publish their materials on this website, from articles to books to whatever they think might be of interest and is related to the Circular Economy Club, or to the circular economy, sorry. It also includes a career section for people who are looking for a job seekers. There's also opportunities on funding. This is obviously like a place to go. So it's not just a networking and events platform, but it's the place to go when you want to find something on the circular economy. What the Circular Economy Club also offers is the mentorship program. These are experts from different areas and professionals in different areas of the circular economy that offer 3 hours of free mentorship. This is if you say you've got your startup or you have your own business that you're trying to give a circular economy focus, or that you have some doubts, you can go to the Circular Economy Club and there'll be a member who will have that expertise that could guide you for 3 hours for free. Then you can, build on that network that you've already got there. There's also more than 260 circular economy organizers worldwide. So what the CEC does is it provides the toolkit, the tools for organizers, both at the city level, it could be at universities, it could be in organizations, and it gives them an idea on how to organize an event. And this could be on a particular topic that they're interested in, whether it's fashion or mobility or whatever topic that is of their interest. They can organize an event in the city, attract different stakeholders, and build a discussion on how to address or how to implement their initiative or different initiatives, how to, again, do that collaboratively. And this has also happened at the university level. Universities organizing a local event in the university where they maybe want to reduce the waste in their cafeteria or in the canteen, and they want to try and implement that initiative. It's also happened in organizations. So, basically they get a toolkit on brand guidelines, guidance on how to kick off events and how to run these workshops and conferences. And the organizer is responsible to organize and host this event, but at the same time they become leaders of the circular economy within their organization. So they're seen as this role model, this person to go to for this leading role in these initiatives. So they gain visibility. And then there's the events. The CEC has a number of events running throughout the year. Some annually, some have been a one-off. You might have heard of the Closing the Loop documentary. This was screened through the CEC in more than 80 cities. It happened in March this year. This enables then again all the people attending this viewing, they can generate a discussion, talk about these topics, get together under this common interest. There was also the Disruptive Innovation Festival, the viewing of the different videos that the Ellen MacArthur Foundation provided. And so this, again, could be focused on different topics that they were tackling. And they were talking about, those topics that were of their interest. This happened, was it March last year? And again, it brought together professionals from different industries talking about that same topic and gaining knowledge from other professionals in their areas. This leads me to the Circular Economy Mapping Week. It's an annual event. Last year it took place in 40 countries. I think it was over 60 different cities. And basically, these workshops, in a similar way to the CEC events, they gather information on what all of the initiatives that are taking place in that city. And as we can see here, there were 3,000 initiatives. I think these are the statistics. There were mainly initiatives in Europe. I think that's over 50% of them. However, they were all over the place, all over the world. You can also see how Canada and South Africa had more than 150 initiatives. But for me, it's not really about the quantity of these initiatives, how many initiatives are linked to the circular economy. It's also about the quality. So what the CEC has also done, it's looked into the quality. What kind of initiatives are we talking about here? The types of strategies, the types of sectors that these initiatives on trying to make circularity a reality, which areas are they talking about? So here's a brief scan of all the initiatives, these 3,000 initiatives that took place. You can see that, for example, the product life extension was the most number, so loads of initiatives focused on the durability and the reusability of products, how to extend, how to share. Again, there was the design for disassembly. I've probably heard of that if you link to the circular economy. A lot of efforts were put also into the business, as businesses focusing more on products as services. Probably tired of hearing that already. And then there was the sectors. So looking at the different sectors, there was many initiatives trying to tackle the linearity in cities, whether it's in buildings, in infrastructure, and energy, mobility. I think you've got a lot of that here today. And then there was also a consumer and products. This is also tackling smartphones, how to make circular products on that. And then the food and beverage sector. We've brought some examples here for you. These are some of the highlights, just so you see a bit of the examples of what is gathered here. All this information is gathered in probably the largest open source database. So it's all accessible, it's all for free. You can just go onto the website and have a look at these different initiatives, get inspiration from it. Also contact them and get inspiration. There was the tackling cities, there was the Ibimina and Kakulu. That was based in Nigeria. They basically recover construction materials and they use them in other sites. Regarding the consumer products and electronics, there's the Skipping Rocks lab. This was quite well known around the LinkedIn and social media. It was quite big at the time. It's based in the United Kingdom, and it's created an alternative product to the plastic, so it could carry liquids, and it's made of a flexible packaging. There was also the VF Corporation, but I'm sure all of you know the North Face and Vans. So what they do, or they're trying to generate, is rental models. So they can, instead of buying, using, and waste, then it's basically generating rental strategies for their products. There's, in the food and beverage sector, I think this is of a main concern sector. There's the Bionativa, which is based in Chile. They produce pesticides from homeland resources, natural, renewable. They use in agriculture. And they're based on fungus and worms. So that's also an area of circularity to work on. Then there's the manufacturing sector, where Folenco, which is based in India, there's a furniture company. They see an opportunity in renting the furniture rather than selling it. And then all of this is generating a lot of learnings, many learnings it's not just data, it's not just statistics, it's not just compiling data, but one of the learnings that the CEC sees in all of these events is that there is a general willingness. People, citizens, they want to build on this momentum of the circular economy and not just use it as a worthless word, just like sustainability was used back in the day, but have some actual meaning, understand it fully. So another learning is that basically civil society is a key force behind the transition for the circular economy. And this means that people are eager to work on it, and they're eager to get together and share their knowledge, share their experience. Another issue that's come up, or another learning, is that there is a need to create like an understanding, a real clear understanding on what the circular economy means, what is circular and what is linear. I think at the really top level, it might be very clear because there's UN agencies, there's experts all over the world who are giving, they have all this knowledge on what life cycle assessment means. But when it comes to SMEs and it comes to citizen level, there might be some doubts on what the carbon footprint is, or maybe recycling a material or just extracting the materials. So where are we trying to tackle an issue? We might be generating another. And that's something that is not always so clear when it comes to citizens, small companies, small businesses. So this is a great opportunity to shed some light on that and build on the knowledge that others have, and also clear those misconceptions that there might be. This is also the case with maybe compostable and organic materials. So many people are like now promoting biodegradable materials, but then there's a huge confusion because is that circular or isn't it? Because if there's no infrastructure in the country to actually process and separate compostable materials, then there isn't much reason to do that. And so it's generating another problem. So that's a fine line. What is circular and what isn't? And so I think, the Circular Economy Club sheds some light on that, or creates the opportunity to build on that. And finally, the urge to collaborate. I think one of the issues, or one of the topics that's come up often in these events, is that there is a really strong need to collaborate, but also to communicate effectively between stakeholders. It's usually the thing where we just keep the information to oneself and within our own business. There is competitivity out there. And so sometimes it's just easier to share all of that and actually gain some knowledge. So this brings me to the Circular Cities Week. This is an event that was started off in October this year, so only a month ago. It was aligned with the United Nations World Cities Day, and what this means is it's not a mapping event, it's a city-based week where there's workshops carried out, and it's basically to try and do a call for action. So this is with the support of the City Council. A city organizer from the CEC will organize an event and bring together different stakeholders from different sectors, both from public sector, private sector, meaning SMEs, companies, and also academia. And it's a small format kind of event where we try and tackle particular areas that are of concern. So this might be fashion, or it might be packaging, food and beverage. So it's specific to certain areas, and it's done in a way that it's intended to support the strategy that the government has already to implement the circular economy and convert that into clear goals that the SMEs can understand, that citizens can understand. What else on this? So let me see. There's 80 cities registered already, so this is an ongoing event. It's not only started in October, it's going to run through even into January next year. And this brings me to Barcelona. Oh, no, sorry. We have these cities where it's carried out already. We've got Sydney, Kuala Lumpur, Vienna, Kampala, London, Seattle, I think Brussels as well, where they've already carried out these events. They're mainly supporting the governments on their strategy, as I've said, and they establish these clear goals. So what the CEC does is it provides a toolkit for the CEC organizer in the city. This gives them, supports them on how to lead this event, and also they provide a canvas so that all of the attendants, all of the participants have an idea on how to build on this strategy, identify the key challenges, identify the key opportunities, and narrow them all into key findings. These key findings will all be published. They will be compiled after all of the events take place. So it will be shared again in an open source database that everyone can access for free. This brings me to Barcelona Circular City. Please make some space in your agendas and book it in. It will be really nice. It's in January 14th and 15th. In the Cibernarium in Barcelona. This is with the support of the City Council, Barcelona Activa, and it's got the confirmed support of Suez, Veritas, for example, who some of you might know, the Crea Futur, cluster packaging, and it's already identified 4 areas for working groups that will be carrying out these workshops. The areas are food and beverage, buildings, mobility and fashion. It brings together, again, public sector, brands, producers, startups, academia, and also citizen representatives, people who want to take action, want to know what the strategy of the government is. They want to participate in this, and they want to understand fully what are those goals, how can they work better towards those goals, and also what are the next steps. So this brings me to top case studies relevant to the cities. It's fractioned into the different sectors. So here we see the buildings as material blocks. We have BAM, which is Building Material Banks. It's an EU-funded project from the H2020. I think the date of this was studied last year. It's already got 15 parties throughout Europe. And basically what they do is they design these dynamically and flexible buildings that can be incorporated into the circular economy. So basically what it means is that they promote the waste reduction and also the reduction of raw materials. So it's a circular economy building, basically. They increase the value of the materials and they keep them there with their value without decreasing. Then we have the mapping material flows. This has taken place in Amsterdam. Basically what it means is that they are gathering information on the inputs, such as the energy that is being used, the water consumption, the materials that are being used in different industries across the city, and also measuring information on the outputs. This would be what waste, what kind of waste, types of waste, what emissions. And so it basically builds on all of that information that is gathered to try and understand where the resources from one industry could be useful for another, for example. The intention of this is obviously to keep materials flowing within the local economy, instead of, outsourcing, gathering all the resources that you need from abroad, from external sources. So keeping it all flowing within, so long as it's possible, of course. What else do we have? The leverage biomimicry in design. This one is a particular favorite of mine. They're these bricks, amazing bricks. So they're not unlike regular standard bricks, They don't produce, or they produce very little emissions in the construction of them. So they're alternatives with made of sand. It's similar in cost to the ordinary bricks. However, they are built with microorganisms that they build from sand, and they have this binding material that sticks all of the sand together, similar to what they do in the coral reefs. So I think it's quite beautiful, as you can see here as well. What else do we have? The prioritize recycled and reused materials. That's another initiative that took place in London in the Olympic Park. There was a temporary structure built within the stadium, and basically what they did is take that temporary structure, use all of the crushed materials, the crushed concrete. I think that was 100,000 tons of concrete that was built for this temporary structure, and they reused these within the stadium. This saved £1 million for the Olympic Stadium in costs, and it also saved all the costs of transportation, all of that material that would have been outsourced and transported, and all these strips from lorries and trucks. It also saved on that. So it's just keeping it within, because you know that you have another project going on where you're going to need it later. So it's planning ahead, and it's understanding how we can do that so much easier. Finally, we have the rental models in mind. We've talked about furniture before, and this is an example from the Netherlands. It happened in the new lighting terminal in the building in Amsterdam. So this is the airport terminal, and basically it's a collaboration between Philips and Schiphol Airport, where Philips provides all the fixtures and all the installation of the lights, and Schiphol only pays for the actual consumption of light. So it doesn't have to pay for the installation or the actual fixtures and all of the materials for them. So it's basically owned by Philips. So yeah, that's again another way of collaborating, another way of ensuring that there is responsibility over those materials, and Philips will be eager to maybe recover those materials in the future and do something else with them. They can also recycle them, reuse them for some other applications. And that's all. These are the different examples. Again, there's a vast source of data on the CEC initiatives, all sorts of information you can find around circular economy initiatives and stakeholders, people around the world who've expertise in different areas. I encourage you to make the most of the CEC. It's free. It's an open, free membership, free to access. And so you can use this to promote your project if you want, network with other people, try and initiate or implement your initiatives, activities. You can also become a CEC organizer. At the moment, we have a CEC organizer here in Barcelona called Dolores, and she will be in charge of the event in January. But again, if you're from abroad, you want to apply for this, you have a license for a whole year. And you can also apply to become a mentee. So if you want to have some mentorship, or if you have the expertise and you want to become a mentor, obviously all of this is voluntarily, but it does give you visibility in terms of your work, in terms of what you feel passionate about, in terms of, what could the future bring. And yeah, that's all for me. I don't know whether you have any questions. I think I've cut down on the delay that we had from this morning. No? Any questions? Anyone? No? Good. Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, goodbye.